Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it is The Ramsey Show, where we're helping people build wealth, do work that matters, and create actual amazing relationships. I am your host, Jade Warshaw. I am joined to my right by Ken Coleman. Is there really anybody next to you, Ken? I mean, come on. Let's be honest about that.
Not right now. I mean, I'm looking to my right. I don't see anybody to my right. I do see you. The fabulous Jade Warshaw. Always good to be together. We were together with the whole crew just this last Saturday in Chicago, the Windy City it's been referred to.
Yes.
And that was a great, great crowd. And
Smart Conference is what he's referring to.
So much fun. So and hung out with your husband,
That's
Sam.
Right. Yes.
Sam was hanging out. It was great fun.
It was super good. You guys came out. Let me tell you, Chicago, y'all did that. It was a great weekend. I came out smarter. I hope you guys did too. But in the meantime, give us a call. The number is 888-825-5225. We want to take calls about not just money, but we've got Ken Coleman on, and he is our career expert. So if you are... Ken, set it up. What do you want?
Inflation's real. Let's get to the pocketbook side of this thing. And as Dave has said for decades, if you're new to the program, Dave Ramsey has said for over 3 decades that your income attached to your work is your greatest wealth building tool. And I focus on the income side of things for Ramsey Solutions. So Jade will take care of the outflow. I'll talk as I can about the income. Do I need a side hustle? Should I be leveling up? How do I get promoted? Do I move and switch career moves when I'm still in the baby steps? The answer is yes. We tell you how to do it. So anything work related in a toxic environment, anything like that. And Jade's got great insight on all that as well too. So that's what we're going to do today.
Coolio, let's go to the phone lines. We got Kristen in Philadelphia, PA. What's going on?
Hi, how are you guys?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
So the reason I'm calling is my husband and I are about $140,000 in debt.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of it is student loans.
How much is the student loans?
So together, I have about $20,000, but he has about about $80,000.
Okay.
So that's what the majority of it is, and then the rest is just car loans. But we're struggling with how to tackle it. Like, it's definitely overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about those car loans. $40,000.
So we have 2 cars. The one we're buying from a family member, so that one doesn't have any interest or anything, but my car, it's about $24,000 that we still owe on it.
And then the one that you're buying without interest, how much is that one?
A little bit over $15,000 we still owe. Okay,
and then is that everything? Because that doesn't quite equal. Okay, so that's everything.
Yeah, so it's about $100,000 in student loans, $25,000 for my car, and then $15,000 for his car. So $140,000 total.
Okay. So break down, okay, you've got this debt, you're realizing, hey, this is a problem, we need to solve it. Let me know, tell me a little bit more about your income. Where are you hitting a brick wall?
So we both are full-time employed. I make around $63,000. My husband makes around $62,500.
Mm-hmm.
So it's mainly just, the loans and stuff. It's going to be the next 10 plus years of us paying it off. And it takes up the majority of our money. We feel like, we're just paying the bare minimum on all of these loans that we have. And
help me understand, because you're making $126,000 a year combined. You've got $140,000 in student loans, living in Philadelphia. So a high cost of living.
Yes.
Okay. I don't think let me rephrase that. It's not going to take you 10 years to clean this up, you said. This is going to require, all right, you're both working full-time. Do you have kids yet?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Do you have kids?
Not yet.
All right. That's wonderful, because this is going to take you guys working like you've never worked before. And I wonder if there's some places within your budget that you can cut down and live on, instead of living on $120,000, maybe live on $90,000, right? Mm-hmm. So we're getting on a budget. Are you using a budget yet?
We do have a budget. We do our best to try to live off of just my husband's
even better.
And then
Very good.
Try to keep, but a lot of times we end up having to just take my savings and use it for like our loans to pay off for a car or our rent.
So something's not adding up. Okay, let me retrace what you just said, and I'm going to poke holes in it. So I suggested, hey, try to live on 90, and you're like, we can live on my husband's income, which is 62 and a half. Yeah. So I'm like, either one of two things is happening. Either you are able to live on his 63,000 and you guys are being careless with your spending, or you're not able to live on 63,000 because you're not doing a detailed budget and it's coming back to bite you in the butt. Like, you're not being realistic on the fact, like, hey, we can't live on 60. We need a little bit more. So which one sounds...
I would say it's probably more the second one, but maybe a little bit of a mix of it is that, we try to live off of his money, but also, rent is pretty expensive in this area. So there's times where we've had to cut into any savings that we have for any loans to pay or whatever.
What you're talking about is a big swing. If you're saying we can kind of live off of his, but sometimes it cuts in with rent, that's a big swing of money because you make $63,000 as well. So here's what I believe. I think that your budget is not a real budget. I think it's kind of a guide that you're looking at here and there of what we should be spending, not spending. I want you on an every dollar zero-based budget. Matter of fact, we do these webinars every 2 weeks here at Ramsey Solutions where we're teaching people how to budget. And there's another webinar coming up on the 19th. Actually, that was today. There's another one coming up on the 26th with George Camel, one of our personalities. I want you on that webinar. It's totally free, 11:30 a.m. I want you to go to that webinar because he's going to teach you and break down exactly how to budget line by line. And you're going to do it with every dollar, which is free. But that's what you need, because right now it sounds like, Kristen, there's a lot of money that's up in the air, that's floating by. Things like your rent, mortgage, that should be a no-brainer. Like that should never be, well, we had to pull out of my savings to cover the rent. That we don't want that, right, Ken?
Yeah, Kristen, I'm going to tell you something. This is about mindset. The reason that you guys aren't making progress is because you're being reactive. And what Jade has told you is right. You do need a budget. That's a form of being very proactive. But you actually need to experience some momentum. So you need to be looking at possibly selling one of these cars and downgrading in cars. The reason is because you could knock out a big chunk of debt very quickly, and then all of a sudden get into that budget, we find some money. You guys have got to work an extra job, both of you. You guys have got to sell stuff, both of you. And the reason is, right now it's so overwhelming. You've got a narrative that says it's going to take us 10 years. That's a mountain that feels like we'll never climb. So you know what we don't do? We don't actually climb it. This is not overwhelming. So you guys have got to make something happen, and really quick, to see the momentum, to high five, and then move forward.
This is The Ramsey Show.
Well, you've all played the telephone game. The first person whispers a message to the second person, who whispers it to the third, and so on around the table until the original message has completely changed. Multiply that confusion by 100 if you run a business with different software systems that don't talk to each other. That's why there's NetSuite by Oracle. In the early days of Ramsey, we were using different systems for all of our business units. We needed one single source for accurate data. NetSuite was the software we used to optimize and take us to the next level. NetSuite gave us the visibility into all of our numbers so that we could communicate across departments and plan ahead better. And as we grew, it scaled with us. NetSuite worked for Ramsey, and it will make a difference for your business too. Join the more than 34,000 customers who trust NetSuite to help make them smarter and make better decisions and level up their operations. To learn more, get a free product tour at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey.
All right, you guys are listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm Jade Warshaw. This is Ken Coleman. Give us a call. The number is 888-825-5225. The Ramsey Show question of the day is sponsored by Neighborly, your hub for home services. Take your home efficiency and style to the next level with convenient solutions from Shelf Genie, Window Genie, and Glass Doctor. Visit neighborly.com to schedule your service professionals near you.
Today's question comes from Michael in Georgia. He asks, how do you determine what to budget for fun money each month while in baby step 2? Well, if you're married, very carefully.
And very evenly.
Yes. Because this is a tough thing. You guys are going through it, and this is meant to be, by the way, a very small line item in the budget when you're getting after it. Maybe even remove it altogether. If it's scorched earth, I just wanted to point that out, Jade.
Yes.
When Dave says to callers, you know what, you are not going to see the inside of a restaurant unless you're waiting tables. Mm-hmm. Your rice and beans and rice, then the blow or the fun category probably should not be there. But if it is there, it needs to be very, very fair, equitable across the board and reasonable. And I would recommend, if you're married, that it involve something that is really, really lifting to your wife.
Sure. Yep.
Or something you do together, just to kind of have a moment of, we've been busting it.
Yeah.
Let's celebrate. That would be that sounded like a politician, but I was trying to get at it from every angle.
Well, yeah, I like what you're saying, and I'd probably add to that, if you're the average person is out, between 18 to 24 months, right? You're out of debt. You're out of that baby step 2. Gosh, I can't talk today.
Yeah, it happens.
Golly.
Yeah, it's all right.
But if you're going to be in there longer, like Sam and I, we were in 7.5 years, then you have to have those moments where you're coming up to breathe. And so I would say, if you're not average, if you're going to be in this for a long time, beyond 18 to 24 months, then I would say, if you're in this 3 years, maybe 3.5, 4, I would add back that fun category. Keep it low. Keep it just something because you can't stay in scorched earth forever.
That's correct.
If you stay in scorched earth forever, it's going to start messing with your mind. You need to schedule that out.
It's like a little bit of a cheat to reward yourself for eating healthy. Yeah. Got a little cheat snack.
Just a little something. You can't go.
You're such a clean eater. I have to ask, do you cheat, A, and B, if you do, what is your cheat snack or cheat food?
I cheat all of the time.
Oh, you do?
1, I feel like I do. I was eating some cookies last night. I was eating cookies in my recliner last night.
Okay, there it is. Cookies in the recliner. I feel better about myself already, James.
They were grain-free. They were coconut sugar. They were.
Okay, that's not. Hold on, time out. That's not a cheat. If the cookie doesn't resemble a cookie, it's not a cookie.
It did not resemble a cookie.
I'm talking, do you get a Twinkie and just get
never
after
that?
it?
No, never.
Okay. All right.
Never. I can't.
Well, then that's not a cheat. I'm talking like a true cheat.
If I want to cheat, I would say I would make a brownies.
Okay, good. Not frickin' healthy brownies, just good old fashioned brownies. Sugar and awful things brownies.
Real cane sugar. All
right.
Yeah. Okay.
Now
that
I
you
can
guys
move ahead. I can focus now.
Yes, we should all have a cheat meal from time to time. All right. With that, we got to go to Justin, who's in Tampa, Florida. What's going on, Justin?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing well. So I'm in a bit of a situation. I'm a single guy, 30 years old. I'm a firefighter here in the Tampa area. And I got into a car payment, miserable mistake, $34,000 loan.
Okay.
16% interest with $773 a month.
Whoa.
Shoo. Yikes.
Yeah. And so it's been killing me. I'm living in a friend's room in a house.
Good.
And the rent is $800 a month. Mm-hmm. And it's just I'm unable to get ahead with my bills. I feel like I just paid off some debt. I was in these payday loan cycles. These apps that I got. So I'm
tell me about the car. Tell me about the car real quick, because I want to attack this. Jade will help you with the rest of your stuff, but I'm just curious on this car. What is the car?
It's a 2022 Subaru Outback.
What's it?
I owe.
Yeah.
It's worth $23,000. I still owe $32,000.
Ooh.
So there's no trading it in. There's no selling it.
Wait a sec.
Well, sure there is.
Well, wait a second. You said it's a 2022 Outback or 2023?
22.
Did you roll negative equity into it?
Just $2,000.
$2,000. Man. Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Keep
here's
going.
here's the deal. I'll just give it to Jade on this. But I mean, if I were swimming in debt like you are and the way you're feeling, I would go ahead and take the bath on this thing, and I would consider selling it. And then this the only time we ever recommend a loan is you go to a local credit union if they'll give you a loan, and you get a loan for the difference. And now your payment's a whole lot less, and you can attack that. You can put that in your debt snowball. That's something to think about.
What's your credit like?
Okay.
I'm guessing it's bad because you've been doing these payday loans.
Yeah, so it's bad because I've been late a couple times on this car because it's the price it is. But my credit, I just checked today, it's in the upper fours. It's like 480, 490. So not good.
Okay, so you're not going to get
he's not
you're not going to be able to get a loan.
All right.
Before I advise you further, can you tell me a little bit more about the other debt that you have? Because I'm assuming there's more.
So really there's not. Like I said, these past couple weeks, I was living paycheck to paycheck because of the payday loans, the cash advances from Amscott.
Did you clear those? You paid those off?
Those are all done.
And by the way, we're never going to Amscott ever again. Ever!
No,
right?
Never.
You've realized these...
Never again.
They're terrible, terrible, terrible. Okay. So this is the only debt, is this car note at $772 per month. What's your income?
My income's about... I get paid $1,800 every 2 weeks. So
okay.
34, yeah.
Okay. And that's for 40 hours a week?
Well, our firefighter schedule is different. We work 24 hours on, 48 hours off, so it averages out to 96 hours a week.
Can you get overtime?
It's tough. It's not guaranteed. I have been working a lot of extra shifts for people paid cash, and so I've been doing that. I think I'm around almost 8,000 extra this year.
Nice.
Doing that.
Sounds like he doesn't know where his money's going.
Yeah, I think, if you're making $3,600 a month, you're paying, I think I heard you say $800 or some for rent, and then you've got this car, which is eating up half of your, like that alone is eating up half of your check. I think that you can work more. Here's the thing. We can do what Ken said, and you can, take a bath on this and try to, before you even start this process, get as much cash together as possible. Because do you even have $1,000 saved?
No, I have $280 in my account.
Okay, so thing one, A1, before when we get off the call, we're focusing on getting $1,000 saved. That's the first thing. You got to have that because that's going to keep you out of Amscott. It's going to keep you feeling like, okay, I have a cushion. Second thing, A2, is we're getting on a budget. If you haven't started using a budget, today's the day. I would recommend Every Dollar. It's the best budget out there. It's the one that I use personally. And that's going to help you list out your expenses and see how much money you have left. Because other than, if you say you have no other debt, you've got your car, you're living with someone, are you a single guy?
Yes, I'm single. I have phone, insurance. And just real quick, to example, each check, so I get paid $1,800. Each check, $1,200 are coming out each check.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that that's done, I can finally live off of my paycheck instead of having to borrow the money through those apps.
Yeah, you've cleared up some margin there.
Yes. Well, my main question is, I have a friend who is a big blessing. He offered to buy me a $6,000 car, but I would have to voluntarily get my car repossessed.
No, I'm saying no to all that. This is your issue, and I think you can dig yourself out of it. You can keep the car if you work like crazy. I'm talking about you're working like 60, 80 hours a week, not just 40. You're picking up double shifts. You're doing whatever you can to get money coming in, and that money is going directly out to pay that car note off because your credit's not really great for you to get a loan from the credit union. That's what I would do if I were in your shoes. This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey, if you're in over your head with student loans and tired of getting calls from collection agencies, if private student loan debt is taking away your financial peace and you don't see any way out, you need Y Refi. They're not a debt settlement company and they're not connected to a bank. Y Refi refinances defaulted private student loans that other places won't touch and gives you a custom loan built for you based on your ability to pay. So when you refinance your private student loan debt with Y Refi, you'll have a payment you can afford with a low fixed interest rate you couldn't get anywhere else to help you stick to your budget and work the debt snowball. And you can save thousands of dollars. To learn more about this custom refinancing option and a lump sum payoff option you could qualify for after 24 months, call 844-2-RAMSEY or go to yrefi.com/Ramsey.
You are listening to The Ramsey Show. I am Jade Warshaw. This is Ken Coleman. And all afternoon, we're taking calls about your life, your money, your career. Give us a call. The number is 888-825-5225. And let's go directly to the phone lines. We've got Landon in Fort Worth, Texas. What's going on, Landon?
Hey, so I've got some cash available, and I have just a mortgage and student loans and debt. And I was wondering which I should apply my cash to.
How much cash is it?
It's about a little over $100K.
How much over $100K? Just curious.
It's like 105.
Nice. How'd you get that money?
Just savings, and me and my wife are bonuses and everything.
Okay, cool. Is it just you and your wife, or you've got kids too?
We're expecting one here in the next couple weeks.
Very, very cool.
Wow, congrats.
So, do you have any, is this just, so you've been saving it up. This is your only savings, right? It's just this, and that's it.
No, we also have $60K in like singular stocks.
Okay.
And then $50K in a 401K. And then we have $140K in a private equity fund that's going to be tied up for about 5 years.
Okay, cool. Very good. You guys have been very diligent with savings. So how much is the student loan debt?
It's about 65.
Mm-hmm. And how much is on your mortgage?
It's 385.
Cool. Now, if I'm you, I don't know how long you've been a listener here at the Ramsey Show, but we walk through a series of baby steps. And for us, we believe, and it's tested, by millions of folks, that this is the best way to build wealth. And that's by getting back as much of your income in your pocket by eliminating debt as possible and thereby eliminating risk in your life. So if I were you, I would take the 105 and the 60K and I would start using it towards my baby steps. So baby step 1, you've basically already accomplished. It's saving $1,000 quickly and setting it aside. And then baby step 2, if you may know, is you're going to pay off all of your debt except your mortgage. So that's where your student loan comes to play. So I would knock that. I'd be debt free from the student loans today. And then I would make sure that I keep 3 to 6 months set aside, liquid. In your case, I would do 6 months because you seem like the type of guy who likes to have plenty of extra money set aside. So I'd keep 6 months set aside. And then from there, when it comes to investing, it looks like you've already done a good job and you've been diligent about saving. But I want to make sure you're doing 15% of your income every month before taxes into retirement. What are you doing at this point?
Yeah, probably somewhere around there. So you're saying that I should just apply all of it towards the student loans, even though the student loans probably have a 3 to 5% interest rate, and my home has I want to say 7.2, and also we only put 10% down on the home, and so we're still paying PMI, which is only about $75 a month. But if we put down the extra 10%, it gets rid of that PMI. you still think you should go, try to pay off the student debt?
Yeah, so let's tackle the student loan debt. So if I'm talking about that first, I'm getting rid of the student loan debt because it's debt. And anytime there's debt, there's risk. It's not bankruptable. It will follow you to the grave. And as much as people say it doesn't matter, you know that there's $65,000 with your name on it sitting right there, and you've got the cash to pay it off
today. Correct.
Today.
If I'm hearing this,
yeah,
okay.
He's got 105 in cash.
Okay, so Landon, you have how much in student loans? 60?
Yeah, 65.
65. So the minute that you pay that off, then that's gone. That payment, the monthly payments, which are coming due in October, correct?
Yeah, the private loans. So we've been paying them.
Okay,
already,
so what have you been paying? What's your monthly payment on the loan so far?
The minimum payment's $650, and we put about $1,000 each month towards
so
them.
let's take the $1,000 that you've been putting towards those loans. That's gone. That's gone by the end of today.
Mm-hmm.
So now the $1,000 you've been putting towards student loans can go towards paying down your home. Do you see how we're it's all attacking the same thing, but we're going to do it in the steps that make the most sense because you get the momentum, and now you have no debt except your home, which is a tremendous asset. The loans are not an asset. The home is an asset. Mm-hmm. So that's why we have the baby steps in the order that they are. So now you're attacking that home, and you're going to get through that PMI. You're going to get there a lot faster now that the student loans are gone, as opposed to going after the home debt and having the loans just hang around over there. Makes sense now?
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's the reason. It's all about momentum. How good is it going to feel later tonight when you slip into the bed and you have no student loan debt?
Yeah, I mean, it'll feel good. I
don't think so. I don't think you think it's going to feel as good as I do.
Here's the thing.
Maybe you need better sheets. I don't know. Something
what,
over 700 thread count would make it feel good.
Okay, talk to us, Landon. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, it's not. I think regardless whether we apply the money to the loans or the mortgage, just in a traditional sense, I've always been taught also that you want to go after your debt with the highest interest rate, and so that's why. I kind of brought it into question whether or not I agree with y'all. Mm-hmm. Me and my wife have talked about it. That's why I actually called, is we're in a little bit of disagreement about it.
Well, the difference in this case, the reason we're telling you the student loan first is because, again, it's not an asset in any way. At least your home, every payment you pay, you're building equity. But with the student loan, it's almost like comparing apples to oranges in the way that you're comparing those two debts. We could have a slightly different argument if we were talking about credit card debt and student loan debt and all of that, in which case I would still say pay the lowest balance first, but it would be a different set of arguments to support that. In this case, again, every month when you're making your payment towards your house, you are building equity. So there's something to be said for that. With the student loan, it's just hanging around, and it's like, okay, I'm going to put a little bit extra towards it, and I'm going to do a little bit towards my house. When you have that focused intensity, you're able to knock things out quicker. And I mean, in this case, in one day, like today, you can be gone from your student loan debt. You know what I'm saying? I think that
he's on board. I think he's scared to talk to his wife about it. That's what I think's going on. Which, by the way, I understand that. I'm not like poking fun at you, but you got to cast some vision to your wife on this.
Yeah.
Based on what we said, we gave you the talking points.
And here's one thing. Here's a great argument. You can use our name on this. We tell people every day on the air, pay off your student loans, and they do. No one has ever called back, Ken, and said, hey, I'm so pissed that I paid off my student loans. Or I paid off my student loans and I felt terrible after.
Right.
I paid off my student loans and I wish I could just go back into debt because I miss it so much.
Yeah.
No one's ever done that, Landon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair, for sure.
Come on, man.
I don't know.
You got this. Get yourself a little mini whiteboard, couple of markers, draw it out, practice it a few times with the wife, and then say, trust me, babe. Trust me.
Ken, it's an interesting topic that this brings up with Landon, because I don't know that it was his wife. I think that it's that cash money that you're sitting on top of. And it's like, I have this money, I want to do something. I don't think he expected that we would say, basically use all of it. Pay off your student loans And then with whatever's left, that liquid money.
We talk about this a lot. There's a huge psychological hit when you dive into a savings account with a lot of money and take a big chunk out.
Yeah.
But you can't be focusing on what you take out. You have to focus on what you're actually doing with that money, as opposed to, oh my gosh, I just pulled this money out. It's no, I just got rid of a massive amount of student loan debt. And I've freed up $1,000 because that's what they've been putting towards that.
Yeah.
To me, it's about freeing up the $1,000 a month plus being free from the debt. Now,
and
I'm paying off an asset.
He'll still have 6 months of
big chunk
income.
of money.
He'll still have 3 to 6 months. He can pay the 65 off because, again, Landon, if you're still listening, those single stocks, I'd sell those. I'd sell those and make it liquid, and I'd set that aside. That'd be my 3 to 6 months of expenses. In your case, probably closer to 6 months.
Yeah.
And then you've still got $40,000, $35,000 left from your from that initial cash you had. Throw that at the house and get rid of that PMI. I mean, you've got so many options, and it's going to leave you in such a better situation. This is not a sacrifice. In his case, this is a trade. And he's trading up for a more secure lifestyle, if you ask me. And he did. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey folks, Dr. John Deloney here with some great news. You get to choose. Whatever you do, good or bad moving forward, the choice is yours. And when you're intentional about making good choices over time, they become healthy habits, like choosing to slow down and make time for a daily practice of prayer and meditation. One thing that has helped me with a daily practice of meditation and prayer is Hallow. Hallow is the #1 prayer app in the world, and they're giving you 3 months free to get started. That's 3 months free to prioritize your mental health and be intentional about finding peace through calming music, prayers, meditation, and more. And Hallow isn't just Catholic. You can tailor the content towards your faith tradition. If you don't have a faith tradition, this is a great place to learn more about it. From scripture readings and prayers to journaling, Hallow makes it easy to practice mindfulness, build a deeper, more meaningful spiritual life, and choose peace. Remember, Hallow is giving you 90 days free. Imagine the peaceful habits you can establish in 90 days. Go to hallow.com/Ramsey today and follow the simple prompts to start your free 90-day trial. That's hallow.com/Ramsey.
You're listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm Jade Warshaw, and next to me, do you still say America's career coach, Ken Coleman?
I mean, you can. I'm just colleague Ken. I know you guys laugh at me for calling you all colleagues.
Well, you're my friend, Ken.
I am your friend. There's no question.
Yeah.
Co-workers, friends, comrades. That feels a little Russian.
Comrade
feels a little communist. I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
Well, we were talking before the break about trades, because this whole thing is like, sacrifices, trade-offs.
Mm-hmm.
And Ken said something that I found to be a bit controversial.
Oh boy, here we go.
That I would like to share with the American people on the YouTubes and on the podcast.
Here it comes.
He says, we're talking about when you're spending money, you're at a baby step 2 and you've got some extra margin, and you can upgrade some areas in your life. I'm not talking about going out, overboard, but you have the extra margin. And he says, Jade, I would rather upgrade my sheets.
Mm-hmm. Before I'd upgrade my shoes.
Before he'd upgrade his shoes.
And I'm a big shoe guy, so she's a little bit thrown off by this.
Now, when you say upgrade your sheets, what are we talking here? What are we talking about?
Over 700 thread count. That's the threshold for me.
See, and I don't even know what that means.
It means pretty nice. It's nice. Feels good on the skin.
Is it like a silky?
Smooth.
Interesting.
Smooth.
Can I tell you, I have linen sheets.
Yeah, wow.
I love them.
Yeah, sure.
They breathe. They're warm.
But the amount of time, I'll explain it quickly and we'll move on. The amount of time we spend in the bed, in the sheets, if you will. I want it to be comfy. I will scrimp on the shoes for a while until I can save up. Now, I've never had to make this choice, thankfully. That's all I was saying. I mean, I love a nice pair of shoes, but I'm going to choose the sheets over the shoes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you know there's a couple of things that I will not like? There's
You're telling me you're going to go for a really comfortable pair of shoes or nice pair of shoes that aren't comfortable over some good sheets?
I walk
You're gonna
all
sleep
day.
on ratty sheets?
I walk all day. When you're tired, you don't care where your head hits. You just
I
want to go
do.
to sleep.
Oh, no, not me. I need optimal conditions. Can't have a flat pillow that just goes to the mattress like these frickin' hotel pillows.
Okay, so the pillow's more important than the sheets, in my opinion, if we're really
Not
talking.
me. It's a combo.
I'd rather spend more money on my pillow than I'd spend on my sheets, and I'd rather spend more on my shoes because I'm walking all day. I don't want to come home with my dogs barking.
Choosing
you know
between a pillow and sheets is like choosing between bread and water. You got to have both to live. I
Well-
got to have the pillow and the sheets.
Oh. You know, we're doing a segment, Ken, next time you and I host, we're going to talk about...
Oh, that's right. That's coming up Thursday. You don't want to miss Thursday's show. Tell them why.
We're going to talk about the things that we are worth spending money on and not spending money on. And we're talking about generic versus name brand.
I love this.
So we're going to go
I'm
through...
very opinionated on this.
Yeah. And I want you guys to leave your comments. I want you to drop in the comments. You can do it on today's show. Tell us some of the things that you're like, Jade, I refuse to believe that, generic toilet paper is the same as my Charmin. Like, don't try to tell me. Drop it in the comments. I want to know, is it coffee? Is it wine? Is it crackers? Like, what's the thing?
Here's what I'm going to tell you. You don't want to miss Thursday's show because we're going to talk about the difference between generic toilet paper and high-end toilet paper. And my analysis on this is not to be missed.
I don't want to know about your analysis.
James knows.
George or Ken on toilet paper.
James
please.
loves my analysis on cheap versus quality toilet paper. You're not going to want to miss it.
Well, we're going to be talking about
All
it.
right.
All right, that's Thursday. In the meantime, let's go to Robert. He's in Chattanooga. What's going on, Robert?
Hey, Jade and Ken, how are you guys today?
Doing good.
We're
How are
having
you?
too much fun, Robert. How can we help you?
Hey, I'm doing well. First of all, I'd like to start off saying I'm coming to you from a very blessed position, but I am curious what your plan of attack would be. My question is in regards to when personal and business funds kind of collide.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll use round numbers here for you. My dad and I are 50% business partners.
Okay.
I have a $500,000 mortgage.
Okay.
We owe we're on a cash basis at our office, so we have roughly $600,000 that will be due at the end of the year in taxes of realized income, I guess is how that works.
Okay.
Since we're on cash basis, I can get that down to as close to zero as possible and kind of kick the can moving forward as we have done for the past few years. But that's sitting out there as a potential tax that we have to owe, right?
Okay.
We have roughly 1.2 in a money market right now, high yield money market kind of thing.
For the business.
And then we have we're correct. And then we have $500K in basically checking account for the business that operates as operating cash, just as cash flow. Cash is king in our industry.
Got it. What is the industry, by the way?
We're in logistics.
Okay.
I'm curious what your plan of attack would be. Normally, if my dad and I at the end of the year split a bonus or something like that, take a withdrawal, we'll do it evenly.
Okay.
We've never done anywhere close to this kind that would knock out my mortgage, but in a rough year, which it has been, the way our market's going right now, it feels like it's still volatile, and if you have those kind of funds available, it could knock out my entire mortgage right now. But if we did that, then my dad would need to take the same amount. And if we did that, now our kitty that we've saved for years and years and years would be completely depleted, and we wouldn't have enough to pay taxes due if everything hit the fan.
So you answered your question. You just answered your question in more ways than one.
Yeah.
Here's the bottom line. When you own your own business is great. You own your own business because it goes both ways. The debt in the business is really your debt. The money in the business is really your money. But in this case, like you already said, in my place of business, cash is king. Like you need this money to operate. You could be on the hook for this tax bill. And it's nice to have retained earnings and it's nice to have operating cash. Your business sounds very healthy and it sounds like you guys have done things right. I think you're tempted because you see, this is like as much money as we've ever had. We could both take this. I wouldn't do that. I would keep things steady. I mean, what do you guys pay yourself? What do you pay yourself out of the business?
We both get about $250 a year.
Yeah, at $250 a year, if you don't have any other debt, which I'm assuming you don't, right? You said you're very blessed.
That's correct. We've been debt-free ever since we started after about a month in, so yes.
Okay, so it's up to you. Truly, it's up to you how quickly you want to pay off this mortgage. We see that when people are debt-free, they're paying off their mortgage very quickly, 7 years around average. With your income, you could do this a lot sooner if you wanted to. You don't have to be intense about it. But my guess is, Robert, if you were very intentional about putting a certain amount extra on your mortgage, you could knock this thing out in like 4 years or less if you lived on less.
Yeah, so leave business funds alone and knock it out with personal funds is what you're saying.
Because does your wife work?
Well, let me rephrase that. It's not, you and your dad can pay yourself bonuses however you choose, but to put the business at risk financially in a down year with some uncertainty in the economy on the horizon, there's no need to do so. You don't need to.
You don't need to. And you guys can still pay yourself a nice bonus at the end of the year, but it doesn't have to be a $500,000
don't
bonus.
Put the company at risk. I would never even consider that. You're in good shape. You'll be fine. With the company stable, as the company continues to grow, there's a reason to believe that it shouldn't grow. Then you can do that when you get into a place of stability. If you told me that the company was booming and that this was a bonus that you'd probably pay out over the next year or so and it would get you that point, then I think it's a no-brainer, but that's not the case here. So hang in there. I love your intensity.
I do too.
Love that.
What do you usually pay out in bonuses? Like, what did you guys do last year?
We did 50 last year, and we just buy random things. It might be an asset for the office, or it might be something at the house kind of thing.
So, take the growth from this year and use that to calculate what you think your bonus should be this year. Still take a bonus. Look, even if it's 100,000, for sure take the 50. But even if it goes up, and you're like, hey, you know what? We both are going to do 75, or we're both going to do 100 based on how our business has grown. That's fine, but it needs to be reasonable. And I agree with Ken. I definitely would not put the business at risk for this. That's very interesting, Ken. I love calls like that, and I love small business owners. That's a fun side of things, but you do have to be careful because before you know it, you'll kind of it's like you get too comfortable with that money. It's right there and you're like, oh, we could just do a little something.
He's not hurting in his home. He's not underwater. And so there's no reason to just gamble because that's a gamble.
That's right.
That's all it is.
Right. Yeah, no, I think with his income, with his wife's income, if he bonuses every year, they're going to be paying that mortgage off lickety-split. Before they know it, they're going to look up and have a paid-for home. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what this is all about. All right, that does it for this hour of The Ramsey Show. We'll be back in a minute. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jade. If you love the show and want a deeper dive on your money journey, we have a weekly newsletter that gives you trending and helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for our newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth. We help them do work they love and create actual amazing relationships. I'm Jade Warshaw, your host today, joined by Ken Coleman, and the number is simple, 888-825-5225. We want you to give us a call so we can talk to you. We'll talk to you about whatever's on your mind. Ken's here, he's the career guy, and so if there's ever a moment where you're like, Jade, am I making enough money? Is it time to make a switch? How do I make a switch? Ken, you're the guy, right?
Yeah, and you hear the word career, a lot of people go, I don't want to do that. Let's focus on your work. Are you making the income you want to make? I'm not interested in giving you a bunch of, advice about your resume, but I'll tell you what I will do is help you figure out what it is that makes you come alive so you get out of the bed in the morning fired up and ready to go. And we find that, by the way, millionaires, everyday millionaires, from the largest millionaire study ever done by Ramsey Solutions, 98% of them loved what they did for work. You were made for more than a paycheck. Collecting 26 or 52, however many checks you get in a year is not your destiny. And so
Come on,
that's
Ken.
my jam. That's what I want to help you with. And by the way, that'll help you make more money or the right amount of money so that you can learn to live on less than you make and be very fulfilled, not chasing all of the things that people get into.
Let me tell you what.
There you go. That's my spin on what I want to help you with.
That social media post you made, you were created more than just picking up 26 checks.
Yeah.
I said yes.
Yeah, I
That
fired
hit.
that off this morning. I was just thinking, like, so many people going to work today that just, that's the only thing they're looking forward to is the next check.
It shouldn't be like
That's
that.
freaking depressing.
That is depressing.
So anyway,
I love that.
thank you, though. Yeah, we're here to help you with work issues as well. So
Love it. So with that, let's go over to South Padre Island, Texas.
sounds like a nice place to be from.
It does. Let's talk about David. Let's go on, David. David, what's going on?
Hey, I wanted to thank you both. You guys, I'm oddly nervous. I preach in front of 400 people a week, and I'm nervous around you two.
No worries.
Well, it's really the Jade factor. She's so cool. She does that to people. Just think that you're just talking to me, and that'll just calm you right down because I'm not impressive. So that should help.
Speaking to that, Jane, I agree with shoes over sheets, and cauliflower and tofu cookies are not cookies.
That's right.
So
No, you're right. You're
okay,
right.
so each of us get a point today. Thanks to David. Okay, very good.
All right, David.
My brother and I inherited a farm from my folks. Awesome gesture from them. It's worth about $1.2 million. We weren't going to sell it for a couple of years. It produces about $35.5 in crop revenue every year, and we're drinking it. So my brother came to me 2 months ago and said, "Yeah, my wife and I want to sell." So I am a bivocational pastor. I work, and I'm a general manager at a condo complex. We make about $155 a year between my wife and I.
Okay.
We were doing Dave Ramsey stuff before we knew Dave Ramsey. I got 5 Dave Ramsey cars and a Dave Ramsey boat.
I love that.
And both of my kids graduated college this year, debt free.
Wow.
Very nice. Very cool.
That was our goal, to get them out. And so my question is, we don't have a primary home. We have a 10-year contract with our church, and we live in the church manse.
Okay.
So I was considering buying my brother out of the farm. It would be about a we're getting a family discount, so about a $580,000 loan, 20-year loan at 7%. So 35.5 of that would go directly into the loan, which is our guaranteed cash rent. It leaves me like, I don't know, $17.5 a year to pay on the $52,000 loan. And the loan payment for the year would be about $52.8. So we could, it'd be $1,500 a month for us, and we would commit probably to doing 3 times that a month and putting $3,000 in towards the principal. So would it be something that Dave would recommend?
Is there a home? Is there a home on the farm?
My parents took the 5 acres when my father died in 91. My mom died just last year, and they took the 5 acres and with the house and the barn and sold that, and that was part of their their income.
So the answer is no. There's no home that you and your wife could live on if you buy the farm.
No home, but I have a 10-year. The only way that I would be out of this contract here and my other job is if I died, or if I cheated on my wife, or I did something that would be out of church.
How many more years do you have on the 10-year the church home?
I just signed the new contract. So it's 10 full years that we're assured of this job, and then I signed a 10-year contract on my other job.
Why do you want the farm?
So, that's a great question. It's not sentimental, but we know they're not making any more land, and it's income producing at the time. It's the debt that makes me nervous.
Yeah. So
it should make you nervous.
let me hit you then. So now that you answered that way, okay, it's not sentimental. It's only throwing off $35,000 a year. That's not life-changing for you. But if you sell this, it's life-changing. True or false?
Well,
No, hold on. True or false? I'm not backing you into a corner. I just want you to answer it. If you and your brother sell it, what do you walk away with, and does that change your life? Yes or no?
I don't need anything, so I think no.
How much money would you make? How much money would you make on the sale of the farm?
605.
I'm here to tell you that'll change your life.
That'll change your life. Well, the question you have to ask yourself is, do I want to make $625,000 or do I want to go into debt $580,000?
To make $35 a year. It doesn't make any sense.
But would you be telling me the same thing if we lived on the farm?
I don't know, but that's you're playing hypotheticals. I was leaning that direction. Here's the deal. My friend, David, I'm going to talk to you like I talked to my dad, because my dad was a bivocational pastor. You already have a bad feeling in your stomach about this debt. And it makes no sense. If it had a home on it and it became your primary home and that's where you wanted to live the rest of your life, yeah, my answer would be different. But you didn't back me into a corner. You're playing hypotheticals.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do it. Jay, do you have a different answer?
I wouldn't do it. I mean, maybe I have a feeling that your thought is maybe at some point you would build on this land, but that's even more money still. I mean, that's just...
No, we would keep the land forever, and I don't know, we would be a legacy land for our kids. But I understand. So I guess my question would be, so let's say I take the 605.
Hey, I'm up against a break. I don't think I can keep letting you go on this one. But what I would tell you...
I already told you what to do.
Yeah, David.
Take the money.
Take the money and
run. Are you going to go into $500,000? No, almost $600,000 worth of debt, and you're gonna get $35 back a year?
He gave us the key word. He said it wasn't sentimental, and that's what I was listening for.
Well, he also said he felt horrible about the idea of debt. You're right, David. We agree with you.
You're right, David.
Don't do it.
This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, being free to make your own medical decisions is a big deal these days. Christian Healthcare Ministries gives members the freedom to choose the doctors and providers they want without the frustration of worrying about networks and with no waiting period to join. It's a membership-based nonprofit ministry where hundreds of thousands of Christians share funds to pay for and pray for each other's medical bills. For over 40 years, CHM has helped families living across all 50 states. So see if CHM could be right for your family. Check out more today at chministries.org/budget.
What's up, everyone? You're listening to The Ramsey Show. I am your host, Jade Warshaw. I got Ken Coleman to my right. We're talking about your life and your money, so give us a call. The number is 888-825-5225. And I can tell you this. When folks come to us and come to me specifically, they're wanting to get out of debt. They're wanting to go fast, Ken. They're like, how can I do this as quick as possible? And I always tell them, I'm like, you have to get your income up. Mm-hmm. Yes, you have to get your spending and your expenses down, right? We're cutting items in the budget. But at the end of the day, you also have to get your money coming in, get that as high as possible, because that's what's going to make your debt snowball move. That's how you pay off debt fast. And the answer to that question is side hustling. And so then it's like, okay, Jade, I know I need a side hustle, but what's truly the best one? Because we want to make a lot of money per hour, right? We want to get a lot of bang for our buck. And we checked the Ramsey Baby Steps community to find out what you guys are doing to side hustle and really what are the best side hustles and what you guys are saying. So let's see what they're talking about, Ken.
I love some of these. So Christy says, I own a travel agency, which has been my full-time job for 17 years. But I have several agents on my team who work in their own time, booking vacations and cruises. Good side gig if you like travel. So you can get paid to do something you really enjoy and you get a lot of perks. So that's a really fun one. How about Paula? Side gig she has with a direct sales company. She does it from her phone anytime she wants. and it gives her an extra $200 to $1,200 a month. Now, that's some serious progress.
Yeah, that ain't bad. $1,200 a month. Cassandra says she babysits in your home for couples in order for them to have date nights on the weekends. Now, let me tell you, that babysitting gig, you can make a lot.
It adds up. I'm out of the game now. My daughter's starting to do it, but I haven't asked her what her rates are. What's a going rate for a babysitter? You got the littles.
Okay, so when I had one child, it was generally about $15 an hour.
Okay.
And then when I had two children, it went up, and it's about 20, sometimes a little more, 25 an hour.
I'm telling you.
One person charged me 30 an hour. Like, it depends on what they do. Like, if they're just like, hey, I'm just here. I'm on my phone, but I'm just watching, make sure they don't hurt themselves.
I'd be getting greedy. If I was trying to get out of debt right now, you know what I'd be doing? I'd be like the old woman who lived in a shoe with all these kids. I'd have like 10 kids at my house for 4 or 5 hours a night, just running a daycare at night from my home. You'd be racking up.
Let me tell you.
At those rates, I'd be like, come on, it's pizza night at the Colemans.
There are moms who will pay, because I have one babysitter. She's amazing. When I come back, the cabinets are organized. The silverware is organized. You know, everything's perfectly stacked on each other. I come back, she's organized the cupboards.
Yeah, I'm not
put
doing
the kids
that.
to bed. But
that wouldn't be part
she
of Ken's
can charge
daycare.
more. She could charge more because she does that. So babysitting, that's a great one.
I'd be saying, bring them over. We're going to feed them. They'll be exhausted when you pick them up. I'm going to run the little ragamuffins.
But wait, they got to go to your house?
Yeah, because that's how I'm going to max out.
They got to go to the shoe.
I'm going to have everybody come to me. Hey, it's date night, and we have 20 kids, and I'm just sugared them up, then they crash. We exercise them.
Can you realize how creepy that sounds? Come on, kids. Come over to my house.
It's not just me. Stacy, Josie's there.
Okay,
Why you got to
go.
make it all creepy? It's Uncle Ken. It's date night. We got it.
All right.
I guess it's getting creepier.
Well, this one's better. Let's talk about Miranda. She says, I do Rover. I've seen that. It's a pet
What's
sitting.
that?
It's pet sitting. It's an app. And people can go on there if they need, like if they want to get a dog walker for their dog, they can schedule a dog walker or dog sitting all through this app, Rover. I've seen it. She says, I make a decent amount of money doing only doggy daycare and home boarding.
See, I think I changed my mind. I'm going to kill the kid idea. I'm going to go to the dogs. We're going to have 12 dogs over at the house. It'd be great. I got a huge backyard. Just let them go crazy.
I like that. It's less creepy. Or Sarah, she says, I love driving the school bus. I also make extra money by washing the school buses and doing trips as well. Now, that sounds like a lot of work, Sarah. You're over here washing school buses.
My arms are tired just thinking about washing school buses.
Look, you got to do what gives you joy. If she enjoys doing that.
How do you get the top done?
Oh,
that's a lot of reaching. You can only get so much. That's a big roof.
She takes pride in her bus. Look, I love this. What I love about these is they're clearly an extension of what these people already love to do.
Yeah.
And I think those make the best side hustles.
Tell you one that I heard about recently. Guy is washing trash cans in a neighborhood. Think about how nasty the trash cans get. And coming in, power washing. Who knows what kind of chemicals he's putting in there, making good money washing trash cans. So
That's a great idea.
What are you all doing? We want to hear from you. What are you doing to make extra money? Let us know in the comments or tag at Jade Warshaw or at Ken Coleman on your preferred social media. And if it's a really good one, we're going to give you a shout out on the show.
Yeah, and put if you feel confident and feel comfortable, put what you're actually earning. Because I want to know, are you making $20 an hour? Or are you making $12 an hour? Like, this has got to be, I want to know the good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the phone lines. We got Josiah in Oklahoma City, OKC. What's going on, Josiah?
Hey, thank you so much for taking my call.
No problem. How can we help?
So my wife and I, we read Total Money Makeover. We started the process about 2 months ago. We've listened to the show, and we had about $39,000 in debt and personal loans, and so a little bit of student loan. And we just over the last few years, we've been paying that down. It was down to about we had $22,000 left on it on just all of our loans. And realized, once we started this, we got on a budget, we got our spending under control. And first of all, we just want to say we're really thankful for the program. And it's been just amazing for our lives, for our marriage, and we're really thankful. But we got our spending under control. We realized, you know what, I'm driving around too nice of a truck to be still $22,000 in debt. So as of yesterday, we sold the truck. We now are debt free.
Nice.
And we have some cash. and we're trying to decide. So right now we have some investments for retirement set aside. We're 24, 25 years old. And we have about $13,000 in cash, which we need another car. So we're trying to decide how much car should we get. Should we have a $10,000 emergency fund, a $3,000 car, or since we just replaced a car, we're in the military, we're about to get sent to California. We're looking for something with better mileage. Should we just get a little bit more car? And we have a very stable job, so we're not really worried about having a huge emergency fund at this point. So I guess we're trying to decide what baby step are we on? Should we just get the cheapest car we can, have the $10,000 emergency fund, and start 15% saving, or should we kind of get a better car that'll work better for us in the long run, maybe more reliable, and have a little smaller emergency fund to start with?
So that's a really good question. Let me put myself in your shoes. So you've got this one car. Is this car 2, or is this going to be your only car?
This is car 2.
Car number 2. Okay. And what's car number 1? What is it?
It's a 2010 Toyota RAV4. It's got like 150,000 miles on it. It's been good. There's no issues with it.
There's no issues. It's in good shape.
Yeah, it's in good shape.
And do you have kids?
No kids.
No kids. And so is this going to just be a knock around car, or is this somebody's commuting? Like, tell me a little bit more.
It's going to be my commuting car. I'm the only one who works, so I will be in California.
What's your favorite color car?
Gas.
You got a favorite color?
Oh man, I don't really care. I just want to get.
All right.
I want to get to and from work with a good gas mileage and something that's not going to break down on me.
Before you give him that car, Ken, when do you move to California?
In about 6 months.
Okay. Can you guys do the one car thing until you move, or are you like, we have to have a car now?
For us, we do need 2 cars.
What I'd probably do is I'd get a knock around car now, and then in 6 months when you move, do you guys plan on here's what I'm thinking through. I'm trying to save you money on the move, so I'm like, okay, if you're moving, are you driving both of these cars over? What's the plan? Can you sell one off before you go?
Yeah, I mean, we're in the military, so our move is going to be covered. We don't really have any big expenses associated with the move.
You don't want to buy the car in California. You want to buy it in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All right, look, my friend, I got a silver 2007 Toyota Camry hybrid, only $69.95 with 114,000 miles at Go Auto of Oklahoma City. That's just one quick search.
I love that.
My friend, I'd get a nice little car for you, low gas mileage.
Yeah.
I mean, gets great mileage. And pay cash.
I probably wouldn't spend more than $10,000. I think 10 is good.
Search between 10 and 12. That's what I did. And I found stuff under that. So there you go.
I love it. This is the way to do it. Ken Coleman on the 1s and 2s.
I'm the used car guy.
You are.
It's my new title here on The Ramsey Show.
You found some good stuff over there, but that's what I do. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Visit Blinds.com to get up to 45% off. That's Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
What's going on, everybody? You're listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm your host, Jade Warshaw, and this is Ken Coleman. You can give us a call and talk to us directly, 888-825-5225, and some of you are new listeners. You're joining us for the first time, whether it be on the podcast, maybe you're listening on YouTube or even Twitter. We broadcast on Twitter these days, or X.
Is that right? I did not know that.
Yeah, that's right.
I should pay attention to James' emails. Welcome, wherever you're watching, however you're watching, welcome. We're thrilled to have you here. We're for you.
And if you're a new listener, we want you to dive in because you're going to hear Ken and I or whoever's hosting talk about all sorts of things, the baby steps or gazelle intensity or beans and rice and beans or baby step 1. What does all of this stuff mean? We don't want to leave you guys in the dust. We want to make sure you know what we're talking about. So go to RamseySolutions.com and go ahead and click that Get Started button, and we're going to help you find the best next step. We're going to plug you in. You're going to know what's going on. You're going to feel support and community. That's what we're all about. So do that. Go to RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started, and that's how that's going to roll. And now we're going to go to Jessica. She's right here at home, Nashville, Tennessee. What's going on, Jessica?
Hi, how are you guys?
Doing good. You're right up the street. What's going on?
Well, I just started listening, and I've got a couple questions. So kind of just trying to do baby step 2 and look at some of this debt. And I thought I was doing really good, and I don't have a lot of debt. And so I've got a little bit of debt that's all zero interest, and the whole plan is to pay that off as soon as, the interest would start accruing. But after listening, I would love to try to get rid of that. I also have 2 mortgages, but I also have a investment portfolio that's worth over $1 million. So I'm trying to decide, do I pull money from that to pay off some of this debt or even to pay off my mortgage? Or do I let that keep making money for me and just try to do it with the money that's coming in? Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's kind of break it down and see really what the details are. So can you tell me, aside from the mortgages, how much debt you have and what it is, what type of debt it is?
Yeah, sure. So I have I had a $10,000. It's really a credit line. I had to get a new water line for my house, and that was about $18,000. That's now at $64.47.
Okay.
And it's zero interest until February. So my plan is to pay that off by February.
Okay.
But of course, I could pay that sooner. And then I got kind of roped into a vacation club. I don't know if you're familiar with what these are.
Okay.
So it basically is you're kind of like paying upfront for vacations. And so basically I'm paying about $2,000 a month for that. And after 9 years, that's over. But I'm getting, so it equals, like 169,000, I think.
Wait, you're paying $2,000 a month and you're locked in for 9 years?
Right.
For a vacation club.
But you get vacation. So you get like...
hey, wait, you're not going to convince me this is a good idea.
You better be getting a $50,000 vacation for $24,000. I
almost don't want to know more about this. My question is there any way out?
I don't know. I guess I could think about trying... I think if I said, hey, I'll pay it off in full early, then they'll cut it like maybe in half.
Yeah, I want you to find out more about that because I do not want you locked into $2,000 a month for 9 years. So let's look into that, see if there's a buyout, weigh it. If you're not sure, call us back on that. What other debt do you have?
Just my 2 mortgages. So my one mortgage is on my primary house, and that's $1,985 a month. I have $236,000 left on that mortgage.
Okay.
And then I bought a lake house with my parents, and so I pay half of that mortgage.
Lake house with your parents. Explain that one. Are you on the deed?
Yes, I'm on the deed and on the mortgage. So I pay half of all of that.
And they are too, or is it just in your name?
Yes. No, they are too.
Interesting. That's how much is that?
They also live with me primarily. So we're like connected for the rest of life, it feels like. So that mortgage is...
that doesn't sound like a good feeling.
I feel like you set it up that way. Now you're regretful, which you should be, but...
Well, right. So that mortgage was $680,000 mortgage. We still have $664 left, and I pay about $1,900 a month on that.
And they pay the other $1,900.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
Y'all are some vacationing people.
I know that's right. Y'all are living your best
That's
life.
a lot of
And
vacations, a lot of time on the lake.
I know, right? Okay.
And just to throw in another wrench, I'm thinking about selling my primary house and having them move full time to the lake, and then buying a home, so I can have some separation.
You do need separation.
Why don't you just kick them to the lake house? Why do you have to sell your current house?
Yeah, I'd kick them to the lake house.
Well, because my current house is 3 acres, and I can't upkeep it on my own. My dad does all of that, and I could actually get $600,000 out of my house in equity.
I was going to ask you if you sold it, what you'd get. Okay, so
now we got something to work with.
We know we got $600 coming from mortgage 1. We're going to keep mortgage 2 around because there's a lot of details into that. So far, you've only explained about $8,000 of debt, even though one of them is occurring monthly. Is there any more debt, or that's it?
So just the water line, which I'm paying $1,000 a month, hope to pay off in February, and then this vacation club, which is $100 whatever,
Sure.
and I'm paying $2,000 a month.
And then what's your income, girlfriend?
I net $185 a year, so I'm bringing in about $13,000 to $14,000 a month.
Okay, so we're paying off the loan next check. There's no reason not to. You've got that kind of money.
The water line one?
Yeah. Just pay it off.
Got it.
Okay,
Yep.
so we're paying that off. We're looking into the vacation club, and I want you to get out of it. Even if you take a bit of a hit, I want you out of it. I do not want you paying on that for 9 years. You make too much money. Like if you want, you make too much money. Okay, now
I can just take whatever vacations I want.
Yeah.
Yes.
With the $1 million invested, the only way I might, here's what we can look at. Okay, if you said I'm going to sell mortgage number 1, I'm gonna take home $350 from that sale.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have about $600 in equity at least.
Okay, but you owe $236.
But no, I'm saying I could sell it for $900.
Oh,
yeah, she's all out. She's walking away with $600.
Let's go. Okay, so I would sell that, and then what I would
I'd get out of the vacation thing with the lump sum out of that.
And I would take that money, the $600,000. What do you plan on spending on your house for you? Because I want you to pay cash.
I mean, I'm in Nashville. I want to downsize, but it's still going to cost me between $6,000 and $7,000.
Okay, so if it's costing you between $6,000 and $7,000, you've got the $600 from the mortgage. The $1 million invested. Is any of it in non-retirement funds?
Yeah. I have about $180 in 401ks, and then 1.175 in actual stock mutual funds, and then an IRA that's $220,000.
Okay, IRA 220.
So the stock and mutual fund allows you to clean all this mess up.
Yeah.
All of
it. Yes, exactly.
Is that how'd you come across that money? Was that just saved money or?
No. So my husband passed away 8 years ago, and that was the life insurance.
Oh my gosh.
I see.
So sorry about that.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. And I have a guardianship account fund for my son at $109,000. That the plan is to use that for college.
Okay. What I would do if I were you is I would pay cash for the next home. Between $600,000 to $700,000 is fine. If you pull $100,000 out from the stocks or somewhere, sell off those, I would do that, and be totally debt free. Then, I don't love this mortgage with your parents. What is your parents' financial situation like? Real briefly.
I mean, they're both retired, and they are making money off of Social Security, and my dad has a pension. So, I mean, they have decent money coming in.
I want you to talk to them about a plan to pay this mortgage off, because that's my next big step. Because that's going to be the thing that's going to continuously be around your neck and making you feel like you said, I'm tied to them for life, which, they're your parents, they're good people, but I don't like that you're in this mortgage with them, and I want you all out of it, and I want you working together to do that since you're all on the deed. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're buying a home in today's market, it takes more than hope and an internet search. You need a team that you can trust through thick and thin. That's why I've recommended Churchill Mortgage for 30 years. The experts at Churchill know their stuff, and they'll take care of you the Ramsey way. That's why Churchill is the only Ramsey trusted mortgage company. Go to churchillmortgage.com today to learn more. churchillmortgage.com.
All right, you're listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm Jade. This is Ken. And we just had an amazing weekend in Chicago, Illinois for our Smart Conference event. It was pretty awesome. Ken, you did a keynote. I did a keynote. All the personalities were there, Dave. It was a great time had by all. And I really love our live events because we get to meet you guys. We get to sign autographs. It's just great to get a pulse on what's going on. And I'm really excited because coming up, we have another event, Money and Marriage. And that is hosted by Rachel Cruz, John Deloney, and that's going to be October 19th. I'm super excited about it. I'm going to be part of that one, Ken. So.
Yes. I think George is as well. Is that true? All of our money personalities?
I think George is there as well. Yeah, this is going to be good. And this might be a spoiler alert. I don't know if I want to say it or not, but there might be a cameo by Sam Warshaw there. So I'm just letting you know.
There it is. I believe that is what is called a leak.
Yeah, I leaked
leaking information out there.
It's a drip. I'm dripping information.
Oh, I like that better. That's what the kids say. Don't the kids say something about?
Well, drip, that's when you're talking about like your clothes
outfit.
Or your jewelry. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep up.
Come on, Ken.
Listen, I'm trying. If I can get my boys to talk to me, then I learn these things.
I was going to say, I'm going to tell your boys.
I think they say things like check the drip.
Check the drip.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Did I use that properly?
Yeah. Yeah, drip too hard. That's what I'm talking about.
Don't tell me you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Ken, I like the drip.
I know. I got my golf outfit on today. I got the golf pants, the pullover. I'm drippy.
Yes.
Did I say that right?
Yes. Come on, dap it up, Ken. That's what I'm talking
I don't
about.
even know what's happening right now. I thought I was going to be made fun of when I said drippy, and I was willing to sacrifice for the greater good.
There you go.
To give you all something to laugh at out there. So.
Well, when you come to the Money and Marriage event, make sure you come.
I
correct.
will be
make
there.
Sure you
I
come
didn't get invited. I'll be home watching football.
And for those of you all who are interested, make sure to go to RamseySolutions.com/live events. I think there's still some tickets left, but you better go fast because those tickets sell like hot potatoes. You know what I'm talking about, Ken?
Hot potatoes?
Hot tamales?
I think hot cakes is the phrase.
Hot potatoes?
I think selling like hot cakes is the phrase. You said
right.
hot potatoes. I think it's hot cakes.
I think you might be right.
All right.
They're selling like pancakes.
You start using old phrases, I'm the guy. And nobody gets one over on me when it comes to the old school phrases.
These tickets are selling like hotcakes.
I'm going to start saying hot potatoes.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
All
right, Greg in Boston, Massachusetts. What's going on? Beantown.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. And I'm feeling pretty drippy myself, Ken.
Yeah.
Thank you. From one dripster to another.
Not a dripster. You took it too far.
Too far?
Too far.
Too far, the audience
not too
says.
far.
Oh, thank you, Greg.
How can we help, Greg?
Sure. So my situation is, we've been an avid listener for a long time, read the Total Money Makeover, like from cover to cover. So the issue is that, my wife and I, we have a 1-year-old and we have a baby on the way, and she's due in February.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you. And we have the light at the end of the tunnel. We are at the precipice of, basically being debt free. We have about $8,000 left.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Our consumer debt. Yeah. It's been a long time coming, about 2.5 years, and really struggling and getting it done. Went from about $45,000 all the way down to where we are now.
Awesome.
Wow, very
Great
good.
job.
Yeah. So the question is now, with our 1-year-old and we have a baby on the way, we have the money right now to pay off the debt. But, with the newborn on the way and, all these medical bills are starting to stack up with with our high deductible health plan, we want to know if it's, if we should hold off until the baby comes or we should pay off the debt and then, gradually, pay off the debt, with like.
Yeah. Do you have the money for the deductible set aside as well?
Yeah, so we have an HSA with money that's stacked up, but it's slowly starting to trickle down because we're reaching the end of that to pay off the deductible and the remainder, and then we have an out-of-pocket maximum that we have to pay. And then with the baby coming in February, we're going to have to double dip again because so then the deductible will reset on the beginning of the year.
So my question is, do you have those out-of-pocket maximums in your HSA? Do you have enough for both years?
Right now we have about $1,500, and that will cover, the remainder of this year. And then, the next will reset, so we won't have anything left in the HSA. Okay.
I would temporarily pause the baby steps because you don't know what's going to happen. And I believe that you're going to have a great baby. Everything is going to go smoothly, have a wonderful delivery. But, being conservative, I would just make sure that I have this money saved just in case. It's going to give you a lot of peace. And here's the thing. If something happens and you end up having like a bunch of money, you're going to have this big chunk of money when this baby comes and you're going to go, oh, great, we can pay off this debt and we're going to have extra money after that. Right. And that's not a bad thing. I get it. You're like, oh, we're so close. $8,000. I just want to have the balance be zero. Look, keep paying the minimums on it and then just keep this money aside. And if something were to happen and you have more than the out-of-pocket max for both years and you're like, this is plenty of money, I'm not mad at you if you went ahead and paid the $8,000 off, but I definitely want you to have both of those out-of-pocket maximums.
Yeah. You're playing it safe, and that's smart, Greg, and you're not going to go backwards. I can tell you're committed to this. This is a good move. And then the minute baby's okay and everything's good, knock it out at once. Absolutely. And by the way, I got to give Greg some love. He used the word precipice. That's the word of the day.
Precipice, yes.
Precipice. We're on the precipice.
I like that.
That's the word of the day. Go look it up.
Word of the day. Love it. Let's take another call. Let's go to Teresa in San Diego. What's going on, Teresa?
Hi. Thank you so much for answering my call.
No problem. How can we help?
Yes, so I'm currently planning on moving with my mom. I'm married. My husband and I, we are moving back with my mom temporarily for us to save up some money and to kind of finish up paying our debt. I'm currently in baby steps too, super committed with my husband as well.
How much debt?
Student loans, 80,000 in student loans, and consumer debt is a total of 32. Includes a card that's used for my husband's business.
Okay.
And we're left only with $3,200 in credit cards. We're killing the credit cards first, and we're almost done with that by October of this year.
How much do you guys earn combined?
So my husband is self-employed. And myself, I'm employed for the county. So combined, it varies. I make $60K. That's my income. My husband is in between 50 or 80. It just really depends.
Okay.
So we make about 90 to 120 a year.
And how long are you planning to stay with Mom?
There you go.
Excuse me, can you repeat that?
How long are you planning to stay with your mother?
Less than 6 months.
Okay.
Less than 6 months. Okay. Yeah. If it's less than 6 months, go for it. Let that be the end date. And what's the goal that you will have accomplished by the time you move out in 6 months?
Yes. So the reason why we're moving with my mom is because we want to open a business. It's called Adult Residential Facility. It's to help individuals with disabilities. And they live with you. And by doing that, you'd receive an income. So I'm going to continue to work and my husband as well. But plus that, my mom will be moving with us. But the thing is that we are trying to purchase a home. But that will be not finishing paying our debt.
Yeah. I don't want you to buy a home until you've gotten out of debt and until you've gotten on your own 2 feet. This business idea, it sounds like a fun idea, but it can wait until you are in a more stable financial footing. You've got a lot of debt here. The credit card debt you're going to knock out in no time. You've got this car here. You said it's for work. I have a few more questions about that. But the key point that I want you to take away from here is I don't want you buying a home until you're out of debt, and then take it a step further. I want you to have 3 to 6 months of expenses saved before you buy that home. And then to take it another step further, Teresa, I'm sorry to do this to you, but you need to pick a home that's not going to be any more than 25% of your take-home pay. So you're going to be saving for a while when you get this home. I'm not trying to crush dreams, Ken, but I want to make sure that when you do this, it's 100% a blessing, especially since she plans on running a business out of that house. Nothing is worse than when you're house poor and when you're trying to work just to pay bills.
Hey, that's keeping the dream alive, making the dream possible.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you for seeing the up and up on that. All right, this is the Ramsey Show. This is the end of this hour. We'll see you next time.
Hey, it's Ken. If you love the show and want a deeper dive on your money journey, we have a weekly newsletter that gives you trending and helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for our newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual, amazing, real relationships. I'm your host, Jade Warshaw. I am joined by Ken Coleman. We're your hosts for the day, and we want you to give us a call. 888-825-5225 is the number. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about, as long as it has to do with your life, your money, and your career. We came off of a really great weekend, Smart Conference weekend. We've got a lot of other great events coming up and just a lot of great resources available to people. So we want to encourage you to dive in, man. This is a community over here at Ramsey Solutions. We've got the Baby Steps group on Facebook. Join some of our social media pages, Instagram. We are talking to you guys in real life. It's not, a bunch of other people doing our accounts all the time. We're there for you and we want to interact with you. We want you to head to the website and see things that are helpful for you, that will help you grow. We want you to engage in these webinars. There are so many opportunities for you to learn and grow and truly get connected to something. And when it comes to your money and really just making that...
It's a very good point.
You know what I mean?
And you need to be connecting with the Ramsey personalities, all of us on our social, as we're out there encouraging you, equipping you. So at Jade Warshaw, she's doing some incredible stuff on Instagram and all the other socials. And don't forget the other shows that we have in the Ramsey Network, the Ken Coleman Show.
That's
You're
right.
going, okay, I didn't hear a lot of work calls today. I didn't hear anybody asking. That's all good. Head over to the Ken Coleman Show anywhere you listen to podcasts or on YouTube. And also on SiriusXM. So we're here. We've got a lot going on. RamseySolutions.com is a wonderful resource for you to find out where I can learn more about the specific area of need, where I've got some challenges and I'm looking for solutions. That's why we call ourselves Ramsey Solutions.
That's right.
RamseySolutions.com is the website.
And the solutions run
By the way,
deep.
I want to point out while we can, you and I are back together again on Thursday.
That's
so for
right.
you appointment listening folks, you don't want to miss this. Jade is working up one of her specialty pieces of content here where it hits you where it matters most, your grocery budget, your grocery bills. And I just get to tag along and sample and eat and opine, if you will.
Opine.
That for those of you that are under the age of 40, opine means give my opinion on generic versus brand name. We're going to do a little budgeting segment. This will be about budgeting. That's really what this is.
Yes, how you spend your money.
Spending. So you don't want to miss that. I'm told it's going to be great fun.
It is going to be great fun. We're going to have a jolly good time.
What are we going to do?
I think I'm still fleshing it out. Yeah, it's food-based. We're going to do generic versus store brand. Mm-hmm. And we're going to do some food items, some drink items, and some like home good items. Yeah. And we'll test them out.
By the way, did they post, James, our last time we did this on the YouTube channel, if they were to search it? Is it up there?
It was so long ago, I don't remember.
So long ago. See, that's a shame. We sampled ketchup, name brand ketchup.
Yes, we did.
Name brand cookies. So you had the cheap Oreos, the fake, the knockoff.
Yes.
And then the real Oreos, and then some ketchup. And I went through that whole scenario, and it was great fun for me.
Yeah, and we're gonna choose items that really do have a big margin between the markup. You know what I'm saying?
Very good.
So it won't just be, this is 20 cents different. We're going to try to pick the things that have a big...
See, we are here for you.
Yeah, we're here for you.
I'm willing to eat on the air in order to help you folks. This is the sacrifice that a man of the people is willing to make, Jade.
Yes, but let's also be clear. If you're in baby step 2, you're going with the twist and shout. It doesn't matter if Oreos taste better.
I agree.
You're going with twist and shout.
You better.
Yeah, you have to. But for those of us who are just maybe not in baby step 2 and we're trying to do better with our budget, but should we make the trade-off, then you have a little bit more of a choice. So that's how that works. Join us on Thursday. We'll be doing that. Let's go to the phone lines, Ken. We got Will in Los Angeles. What's going California love? I always wanted to do that.
I love that.
I'm sorry.
I should be beatboxing, but I don't know how.
Sorry, Will. We can't help ourselves.
No.
How can we help you?
Hi, guys. It's nice to talk with you guys.
You too.
What's up?
Yep. Okay. So my wife and I, we bought our first home back in 2019. When the pandemic came and the interest rates bottomed out, we refinanced to a really low rate of 1.75% on a 15-year fixed.
Mm-hmm.
We have enough money now in our taxable investment accounts to pay off the mortgage.
Sweet.
So my question is, should we pay it off? And I'm just hesitant because, we have a low interest rate, and some of our money in that is invested in assets that are making, 3x or 4x that interest rate.
So the money that you'd be pulling out, it's non-retirement funds, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
And how much are we talking?
We have about $475K left on the loan. We have $600K in our retirement account.
So it is a retirement account.
Oh, sorry. In our brokerage account.
Okay, so there's $600K in the brokerage account. What's in your retirement funds?
We have $425K.
Okay, and there's no other debt?
There's no other debt.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at paying off the home, because if you really flipped it around, you wouldn't borrow money in order to invest it. And that's really that's really the crux of this argument. Now, the key here is there's going to be taxes on this money when you go to sell your stocks and whatnot. And so you've got to be prepared for that. I'd say that's the big portion of this. If you make this choice, which if there's no other debt, do you have 3 to 6 months of expenses saved?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. How old are you?
We're 34.
I'd do it. I'd be debt free.
Right.
That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, I'm not about to disagree with you.
Yeah, you look like you had a funny look on your face. That's why.
No, I'm just sitting there thinking about the mindset here coming out of this, and so anytime we give financial advice, I want you to be thinking. I think I agree with what you're saying. What I'm thinking there is do you get it? Will, are you on board with it? And do you understand what's on the other side of this?
I mean, it was his idea.
Yeah. I know, but I mean, are you all in? You just wanted a nudge, or were you back and forth?
I did want to nudge. If you asked me, back in 2019, I would have said, okay, yeah, let's pay this house off in 7 to 10 years. Times come where we're able to, and the fact that the interest rates have spiked, and we're paying a low rate and we're making a lot in fixed income assets, makes me question it. And then the second thing is also behavioral. If we wanted to move into a bigger house sometime down the road, what's the recommendation for going about that? Do we want to pay all cash for that, or is it okay to take out like a smaller mortgage to kind of cover the difference between whatever equity we have in this home versus a bigger home?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And what's your income, by the way? Because in your case, what's your income?
Our gross is $450-ish.
$450?
Yeah.
Yeah. In your case, for sure, the next house you buy, I would buy in cash. There's no reason in the world, especially if you're paying this one off. When you go to sell the house, you're getting all that back. Plus, you've got plenty of time to save if you wanted to upgrade. That's definitely the move I would make. And like I said before, the question that you're asking yourself is, if you were debt-free, you would not borrow $475 to invest. You would prefer to be debt-free. And so that's really the equation that we're working with. And I just think it's exciting that you have this option. You've obviously done a great job in saving, and now you've got this money to show for it. So congratulations, you're weird people. This is The Ramsey Show. Thanks for hanging out with us. You're listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm Jade Warshaw. This is Ken Coleman. And we're so grateful for you guys. You're the ones that keep us going. The whole reason we have a show is because you guys listen, right? So keep listening. And not only that, but we'd love for you to share the show with somebody else. If this has changed your life, or maybe you just find it entertaining, go ahead and hit the like button or subscribe to it. Either of those things would help us so much. Like, share, subscribe. It'll help kick us up in the algorithm and help other people see the show and get access to this content. So we would love it if you guys would do that today, wherever you listen to the show. Or, you can text it to somebody. You could even text your favorite episode. That would work. And we would be so grateful if you did that. In the meantime, let's go to the phone lines. If you'd like to talk to us, you can call us at 888-825-5225. But for now, we're going to go to Michael, who is in the city where I was born, Ken Coleman.
Where is this?
Spokane, Washington.
No kidding.
That's right. What's
Well,
going on,
you learn
Michael?
something new every day.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. First off, I just wanted to thank you guys so much for what you do. You guys, just listening to you and stuff, I went through a divorce about 10, 12 years ago, and I had to start all the way over on this side of the mountains again. I'm actually, a little smaller town south of Spokane, but I ended up paying a $300,000 loan off in just under 7 years.
Wow.
And that's because you guys just, listening to you and just, after I started listening to what you're doing, I started just pounding the pavement and just taking every dime that I had and putting big balloon payments, $10,000, $20,000 payments towards the house. And it was amazing how fast it went off. And then I sold a car and said, okay, I got to get this thing paid off. So
very cool.
But the question I have now that I'm just totally debt free, I bumped up my, I have a retirement from our union, but which will pay me, X amount of dollars a year for every year we have in. But I have, we have 401k on top of that, which we just recently were allowed to do, the Roth here in the last month or two. And so I started putting the money into the Roth instead of the 401. And, you can do, 22,000 and then the extra 8,000 catch up.
Yeah.
So I've been just putting 25% of my income into that. Well, that's going to be, I just started doing that in the last month or two. Well, that's going to max out pretty quick now. So, should I just take that extra money and, keep putting it in the bank or keep putting that in the stock market?
I'd probably go to a Roth IRA. Once you maxed out your 401k, I'd probably switch over to a Roth IRA. Is it just you?
Just me and my wife.
And you could do the same thing for your wife. She could max out a Roth IRA. Does she have access to a 401k?
No, she doesn't, not at this point.
Okay. So I think that'd probably be the next step. And if you're still hey, we've just got lots of money. And by the way, it depends on your income. You might have to do a backdoor Roth, but you could work with a SmartVestor Pro on that. But once you max out that 401k, move over, since it's a Roth, by the way, for anybody else listening. Otherwise, we would say do a Roth IRA first and then maybe go to the 401k, especially if there was no match. But since his is a Roth to begin with, we'll max that out. Then we'll move over to the Roth IRA. And if you still had money left over, you could go over to an HSA, which is great, especially it's part of a high deductible insurance plan. So if you have access to that, I'd do that. Do you have access to that?
Honestly, I don't even know what that is. I'm kind of stupid with the stock stuff.
Oh, no, it's not that at all.
Stupid.
Not at all. Let me tell you.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, Michael, I have no idea what she's talking about either.
Well, let me tell you then, because let me put
I'm kidding.
Let me put the cookies on the floor. I didn't know about HSAs until 2019, so we're right there even. An HSA, whenever you have an insurance plan that has a very high deductible, it usually allows you to have access to a savings account that's attached to it so that you could save up to actually pay the deductible. That's one of the perks of it. But an HSA is basically, it's a health savings account. It's an account that you can save money into, but it's great because it's tax advantaged in 3 different ways. You don't pay taxes on the money going in, it grows tax-free, and you're able to spend that money tax-free on purchases that have to do with your health. So doctor's appointments, if you're buying, prescription medicine, things like that. So that's what it is. If you have a high deductible health plan, you might want to inquire about that. If you don't, then the next place I'd go is probably look into a brokerage account. And a brokerage account is simply, it's just a kind of a catch-all account that you can invest. It doesn't have to be used for retirement. So there's no penalty if you pull the money out for a certain purchase, whereas your retirement, obviously there would be a penalty if you were to pull the money out before retirement age. Does that make sense?
It does. It totally does. We just last week, we visited my sister in Montana, and we found a piece of property right next door to them. And my wife's like, let's buy the house. And she's always wanted to move over there. And so we were kind of thinking about doing that. And I'm like, oh my God, I just got, it's comparable, maybe a little less than what we might be able to get off our house. So, I mean, it's kind of scary, especially since I just got debt free. But
of course, I would say if you do that in addition to the house that you have now, I would only do it if I were going to pay cash for it.
Okay.
Because in that case, you're really treating it as an income property or as something extra. Now, if it were going to be your primary residence and you were going to sell the house you have now and then roll that into the next house and you'd have a small mortgage, there's really nothing wrong with that.
Okay. Well, that's kind of what I was thinking is I was going to call the guy, and I've been trying to call him today, actually, to see if there's a way that we could put it on a small, a short-term loan, and then once we get the money from this house, while we're doing some work on that place over there, just move over there, because I'm 60 years old, and I was going to retire within a year anyway.
Well, I wouldn't do it that way. I wouldn't buy that house until you've sold your current house. I wouldn't carry them both at once. Okay. I would sell your house and then I would make the offer over there and I'd move over there and whatever you guys choose to do in the meantime. But I don't think that I would buy it on debt because then you'd have to, does that make sense? You'd have to buy that house first.
Because you don't want to have two debts?
Well, your current house is paid off. Your current house is paid off, but I think that it creates, when you do it that way, it creates this idea of like, well, I don't have to do this right now. Like this was the plan, but we're doing this work. It ends up taking longer. I feel like in order for you to do this the right way and do it the way you said you would do it, I would not buy that house I would only buy that house once you've sold your current house, since you'd be going into debt for it with a mortgage.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, what I didn't want to do is just move things twice. There's nowhere to move all the stuff from my shop and the garages and stuff. The house is considerably smaller, even though we'll downsize. There's no garage there. It's just more like a big log house. And, it's got a carport, doesn't have a garage. There's really nowhere to put anything until we get there. I was hoping to be able to, buy the place somehow, maybe on a short-term, loan. And then like a balloon payment at the end of a year.
No, I definitely wouldn't do that.
No,
I would never do that.
This is too much risk just because you haven't come up with a plan for your stuff.
Exactly. You're debt free.
You got this. Take your time. Breathe. I'm not even sure you want to make this move, to be honest with you.
Well, me too. I'm kind of that's a struggle I have as well. But,
hey, I picked up on that.
Good job, Ken.
Listen,
July 1st.
Look, happy wife, happy life. I get it. All right, but I'd be having a conversation with the missus. I don't think you want to do this more than you'd like to have a hole drilled in your head.
He doesn't want to do it.
Did you hear him?
Yeah, he doesn't.
It's like I set him free. It was like that was the burp emotionally that he needed.
Well, when he described the house, he was like, it's an old cabin and there's no place for my stuff. I'm like,
I would be sitting down with the wife going, hey, how can we spend more quality time, or we being you, with your sister without me buying this place I don't want to live in? I think that's the conversation. Steak dinner, candlelight, maybe. I'd offer some type of
foot
negotiation opportunity here.
Yes.
Oh, don't do it, Michael. You're going to resent the house and then eventually your wife.
Yeah. Good pickup on that, Ken. That was good. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey, what's going on? You're listening to The Ramsey Show. I am Jade Warshaw, your co-host, joined by Ken Coleman. We're talking about your life, your money, your careers,
Let's
and
go.
we would love if you gave us a call. We want to talk to you directly. 888-825-5225 is the number. And so we're going to go to Hussein, who's in New Bedford, Massachusetts. What's going on, Hussein?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Good.
Doing well.
So what can we help you with?
So I am currently a sophomore in college, double majoring in accounting and finance.
Uh-oh, smart guy alert.
I try. And so my junior year, I plan on doing semester abroad. This program, it's called Semester B. I'm not sure if you heard of it.
I have.
Yeah, nice.
So currently what I'm doing is, so I'm doing like a regular job on the side where I just help this one guy with like this saleable fleet. And then I'm also like doing Uber Eats, and I set up a role for Uber Eats, which I'm doing. So I'm trying to do about like $20 a day.
Okay.
So if I do that for like a year, I'm trying to get about like $7,300. And then I also have a full-time job in the summer where I'm a boat tender.
Okay.
And so I do make like decent money doing that. So I plan on making about like having about $14,000 saved up.
Okay.
By spring of 2025.
Okay.
And then, so the whole thing is about $40,000, which is pretty steep. So, and my family, so like the EST is like 0. So.
Sorry, the what is 0?
The EFC for this trip.
What is that?
What's EFC?
So I did like a financial aid estimator online for their website, and I was told I was going to be getting about $7,000.
Oh, okay.
Got it. But instead, you're not getting any?
No, so like I put my EFC at 0 to 999.
Right. So bottom line is, let me help speed us along here, Hussein. So if I'm hearing you right, you think you're going to be able to make between $13,000 and $14,000 max before the time would come to pay for this, which is a $40,000 bill. Am I understanding you right?
So I need, so the total bill is $30,000, but I need about $10,000 in cash.
Okay.
So I'm just hoping, so I know I can get the tuition down to $20,000 with scholarships and financial aid, and then have $10,000 to spend. So I was asking you if you think it's worth it to take out a $20,000 loan.
No. Let me ask a question before we go further into that. Is this the only time you can do this? And I'm totally ignorant as to this situation because I don't have kids in college yet. Is this the only semester that this is offered, or could you do it in the future?
So, I mean, I'm graduating in 4 years, or in 2 years.
Right.
And I do plan on getting my MBA, but I just feel like this is like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
I understand. No, Hussein, and I want you to have it. I'm asking, could we push this further into the next 2 years
so you have more time
so that you have more time to save the money?
I mean, I could do it the end of my, like the last year, but I feel like the last year of college would be like heavily trying to like find internships and like especially going to grad school, but that is a possibility.
Of course it is. So, Jade, why is it that we are so anti him taking a $20,000 loan out to study overseas?
Because it's debt.
There it is.
And it's going to follow you, and there's going to be interest, and you're going to be on the hook for this. And here's what I can tell you from my own personal experience. In college, debt hits different. Like you think, oh, it's $20,000. Like when I get out, I'll be working and I'll be able to, bring that money in and it's not going to feel it. But then reality hits and it's like, oh, I might not have gotten the job I thought I was going to get. And I didn't get it when I thought I was going to get it. And oh man, the cost of living is so much more expensive than I thought. And all these things start hitting you and you realize, man, that debt and that payment is more than I thought it was. That's thing one. Thing two is, everything we do, every decision we make, we're setting a precedent. And we're telling ourselves, this is how I live my life. This is what I do. And so when you make the decision, I'm a person who takes out debt. That's what you're telling yourself. I'm a person who goes into debt to get the things that I want.
Boom.
And that is a very big line in the sand that you draw. And that's something that's a line in the sand I don't want you to draw. You have the opportunity here right now to decide, I'm a person who does not take out debt to get what I want. I'm a person who finds a way, who works hard and pays cash. And this is such a good time to decide that that's what you're going to be. Like, you're in college. This is the time to make that decision.
Hussein, what if I told you that you could save up the cash and pay for this amazing experience abroad? And I agree with you. I mean, this is a lifetime experience, bucket list thing.
Yeah, we want you to be able to go.
I want you to have it. What if I told you you could save up the money for it and still line up a job and or internship and not come out of college with that degree and go, oh, I don't have anywhere to go? What if I told you both things were possible? What would you say back to me?
I mean, I'd be pretty amazed.
Well, I'm telling you that's true. So let's just play this out for a minute, okay? So how much longer would it take you, let's be realistic, to come up with the additional money?
I mean, so currently I pay about like $9,000 to $10,000 for like school this year, and I've been working in the summer like every single I've been working like all 4 seasons just trying to pay for school. So I've been like working, and I don't have any student loans. I mean, I've been paying.
Good for you. So let's just play this out.
So good.
How many more months? I'm not holding you to this. I'm just getting your brain going because we're going to have to let you go in a few minutes. And I want you to have the mindset and then something tactical to play off of. How many more extra months would it take you to save up that additional money so that we pay cash for the semester abroad?
Oh, God.
Take a guess. An educated guess. You're a smart guy.
Probably an extra year.
Great. So now we got a goal. Because here's what I want for you. I want you to come away from that semester abroad, coming back home, going, that was amazing, and I don't owe a penny.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm on with the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like the minute I come back, I'm like, well, that was fun, but now I have $30,000 to pay, $20,000.
Exactly. That's my point. And dude, this is you gutting it out, hustling for 12 months.
And I think, hear me on this. I think what you told me earlier when you were like, hey, my goal is to make $20 a day. I think you could do so much better than that. Like with Uber, I think this summer, I think that you can earn far more than what you think you can earn. I know that you're a full-time student, but I think that you can find some things that pay better for part-time. And I think you need to dig into what you're already good at and passionate about in order to make that happen.
That's where I'm going. Hussein, I'm just wondering, are you at a place where you could do some freelance, some contract accounting work?
Oh, I mean, so I do have an internship lined up with PricewaterhouseCoopers.
No, I know, but hold on, forget that. I'm saying, if I come to you with my little small business and I go, Hussein, I'm a disaster.
Yeah, can you do some bookkeeping for me?
Can you do some bookkeeping for me? What would you say?
I would say I could probably honestly start doing that end of this year. Because I'm starting to take
Okay, so here's my point. To Jade's point, that's the real money there. You could start making way more than Uber Eats. Mm-hmm. And are you working late and working early? Yes. But you could sleep when you die. You're young.
And that's going to give you experience going into what you want to do after school, right? All of this is filtering into the experience. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That this makes sense. We're not just doing Uber Eats, right?
No, we're getting great
experience in the real world.
I'm telling you, how many small business people, and by the way, not just in New Bedford. You know this, Hussein. I'm a dinosaur compared to you. You could be doing stuff online, helping people around the world with your abilities. So you gotta see Hussein the way that we see you.
Oh yeah.
And that is a very intelligent young man who's got a plan, who's got some skill sets. He can make some cash.
Come on, he's paid his way through college thus far.
A major shout out, Hussein.
Major shout out.
Major job. Way to go.
This is a smart kid. Hussein, we are rooting for you.
Yeah.
We see something in you, dude. You're gonna be amazing. And you're gonna do this abroad program, and you're gonna pay cash for it.
Make sure you send Jade and I a postcard. Ramsey Solutions headquarters. Send us a postcard, Hussein.
Yeah, love that. This is The Ramsey Show. You're listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm Jade Warshaw. This is Ken Coleman. Our scripture and quote of the day. But you, take courage. Do not let your hands be weak, for your work shall be rewarded. That's 2 Chronicles 15:7. And our quote of the day, Ken, I think you need to read this one because you have the voice for it.
Oh, is that right? Oh, yeah, struggling with the voice these days. And so I'm down 2 octaves. James has got a sense of humor. I'm never going to quit because quitting just ain't my shtick.
I'm never, ever going to quit.
Barry White. I wish I could get in Barry's category. I never will, but that's my best attempt. Thank you. Y'all be praying for the voice.
Speaking
I need
of
some lozenges.
Speaking of never gonna quit, I gotta let you guys in on a conversation Ken and I were just having before the break. We were talking about college.
Oh.
And we were talking about,
I like this.
He's talking about his kids, which kids he thinks will go to college, which kids he thinks won't. I was telling him one of my regrets is I feel like I should have stopped college because it did not, and I knew it. It was not feeding into where I was going. And I knew that it wasn't feeding into where I was going because I was a musician. And
what was your major?
Commercial music.
But you didn't need it. You realized you didn't need it.
I didn't need it. And I was learning more from my outside experiences because the thing with, and maybe it was my school. I mean, this is not for everybody, but the thing is schools can only be so in the now. Yep. You know what I mean? Like they can't buy everything new every single year. So they're not always up to date. So there's a lot of things that weren't quite up to snuff. And when you actually get out there and you're doing the work, you realize, oh my gosh, this is the operating, this is how everybody's making music. Not like that. Here's what the jobs are really, you're on the job. So you're learning in real time. And that's just in certain fields, especially in the arts, it's invaluable. And so I was saying, I honestly probably would have gone back and maybe my sophomore year, I probably would have been like, no, that's good. I'm done.
And I want people to hear the rest of that story. So you would have then only had how much debt?
Oh gosh, I probably would have come out with maybe 10 or 15.
And you traveled the world with Sam. Mm-hmm. You've sung in how many countries?
Oh, over, 193.
And on major cruise lines, you name it, you've opened, you've done it. The reason I'm teeing you up, she would never tell you this, but I'm pulling a fast one on my friend.
Pull a fast one.
Because you, after our post-Smart Conference dinner, you shared with me and Sam, your hubs, a story about a music teacher.
Oh, I see where you're going.
Take me there, and then I'm gonna tie it up. But I want you to tell that story because it's very important.
It is important. So I think we all come across moments that we go, that sucked, that was hard, and in the moment you think, like, this is the worst thing ever, but you're glad it happened because it pushes you forward. I don't remember. Did I tell you this story?
You told me the story. You want me to set you up?
The piano one?
The old lady.
Oh, I don't remember telling you this. Okay.
Yeah. You come in there, you're all geeked up because you're nervous. It's a hard exam.
Okay, so we do these things, they're called juries, and you do it after every semester, and it's basically a chance for you to show your proficiency. So my jury that quarter was to show you can sight read, you can play this piece, you can play that piece. So I think it consisted of 4 different areas where you show your proficiency.
Oh, this is fun. Real quick interrupt. We have 3 ladies in the lobby that are all music teachers.
Oh, wow.
Or piano teachers, and they're all shaking their head.
Oh, this is great. You guys are my backup singers on this. This is great.
All right, so this is a great story. Everybody this is really huge because a lot of people need to hear this story today, I promise you.
So when you're sight reading, the whole point is you're getting a piece of music for the first time and you're showing how well you can read through it, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's what happened. I get the sight reading piece and I start playing through it and I'm like, I'm doing pretty good. Of course, you're going to stumble through it a little bit, right? Teachers? Yes, they're shaking their head. Yes. Mm-hmm. You're going to stumble through it a little bit, but the gist is, okay, you've got the gist of the piece and you can read. You can read. So after I did that, it was the last piece of the test and I'm thinking, man, I nailed that. I did a good job. Instead, so all the people in the jury, it's like the faculty heads. So my piano teacher, she says, well, you're a waste of time. And if you're not serious about this, you should quit now. And she's like just railing on me. And I'm thinking, what the heck? Like, what is happening? So I'm like, tears are coming down my eyes. My husband is like peeking through the window to see how I'm doing. And when he hears this, he's just like, he sees that I'm just like shattered by this. I found out later that some of the other students got the sight reading piece ahead of time and they were able to look at it and see what it was. So they were more prepared. And I'm like, I literally just sight read it. So that's what happened. She told me that I should probably choose a different major. And clearly I wasn't serious about music and I was wasting their time and all these things.
Now, here's why. So I'm going to jump in because here's why I asked her to tell that story. I didn't plan any of this. But sometimes you just got to go with your gut. And there are a lot of people out there that are listening and watching today that you're still holding on to a voice like that stepped all over your heart 15, 20, 25, 30 years ago. And I don't know what was going wrong with that lady that day.
No, I'm not that old, Ken.
No, I know. You're not. I'm just saying. That lady stepped all over you because she had a complex or she had something going wrong in her life that day. We're not telling the story to judge her. Well, we are telling the story to say that you can put yourself in front of some people sometime that are supposedly your instructors, your coaches, your guide, a person of influence, and they can crap all over you and put a voice in your head that takes you years, decades, sometimes never get over it. And all that to say, that's from a institution of higher learning. She could have dropped out. And she should have dropped out, according to Jade, because she went on to become an absolute freaking superstar. She could still sing her fanny off. So I'm telling you, she didn't need that validation, but you were looking for it.
Well, look.
And I got to tell you, we're in a place in this world now where we are still telling kids that college is the only way to success. And that's the biggest bunch of hot, stinking garbage from hell.
Oh,
and we got to get to the point, folks, where we look at it and we go, wait a second, is this about prestige or is this about preparation to do the thing that these young people want to do with their life? And are we as parents so worried about what everybody's going to say about us based on where our kid goes to school? And I'm going to tell you what's coming down the pike. We are seeing a shortage in the trades, in manufacturing, and very soon you're going to see kids going straight from high school into the workforce. And if Kobe Bryant and Kevin Garnett could do it, your kid can do it. And we've got to wake up, America. It's not worth saddling these young people with decades of despair because of student loans. That's what it is. This is big business. Big business. And we've been told by the federal government and by private shysters that are putting student loans on the backs of young people that this is okay because it's the ticket to guaranteed success. And the only thing that a student loan is guaranteeing is desperation, despair, depression, dysfunction, you name it. I'm sick of it. It's time we stood up as the people and said to Washington, D.C., hey, you know what? Why don't we shut this program down? Or why don't we put some regulation in place to tell the colleges and universities that you got to stop raising tuition. From 2010 to 2022, we saw college tuition raise at a 12.5% clip.
Wow.
Where inflation rose at 2.5%. That is price gouging, it's manipulation, and it's wrong. And we got to say, enough is enough.
That's a slow clap, Ken.
James, I'd say sorry, but I wouldn't mean it.
I love it.
That was great.
Listen, it's time. It's time. Now, listen, if it's the right way and the only way, go for it. But for heaven's sakes, pay cash, and we're here to help you do that.
For heaven's sakes, pay... Ken,
I know. I apologize, but your story fires me up because it makes me angry.
It makes me angry too.
You could go into student loan debt to have some old battle axe who somebody pissed in her cornflakes that morning and she craps all over your spirit.
Look, I will say
that's
this.
just wrong, folks.
I don't take it back because that fueled me.
Give me my money back, Tennessee State.
Hey, okay, we're naming names up in here.
I didn't name her.
Yeah, but we named names.
I remembered her name. I was listening. I was paying attention.
Ken,
you didn't think I was paying attention.
No, you were paying attention, all right.
I was paying attention.
Look, we're naming names up in this place, and Ken is right. Look, but here's all of that to say, pay cash for college, and at the end of the day, look, the words that folks say, guys, you can let it break you down, or you can let it build you.
And you did,
You can use that as fuel. So if you ever had anybody talk to you like that, just know, let it be your fuel, man. Let it push you to keep going. That's what Sam and I did. But, thanks for listening today.
I'm proud of you, friend.
Ken, you got me fired up, man. You went into like a Johnny Cochran mode. That was great. You're listening to The Ramsey Show. That does it for this hour. We'll see you next time. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jade. Look, if you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.